So I'm Tim Freeman. I'm one of the organizers for 1 Million Cups Little Rock. I'm really excited to have Made by Few presenting this morning. I run an organization called ARC, and my company covers tech and startups all over the South. And so I am a road warrior. I'm always on the road, going to different events, from South Carolina to, in fact, I'll be in Birmingham on Friday, Nashville, Memphis. If there's an event related to tech or the creative communities of the South, I'm generally there. And this morning we have Made by Few, who's a homegrown event for makers of the web. It's a creative conference, and I can tell you, hands down, it is the best event I've ever been to. It's absolutely amazing. And the energy and the information that comes from the stage, the quality of the speakers that present is literally unmatched. I'm really proud that Arlton and David and that crew have put this together, so I'm really excited that we have them here this morning. So without further ado, in a couple minutes after 9, I'm very, very excited to welcome Arlton Lowry to 1 Million Cups. Please give him a hand.
Thanks, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, my name is Arlton Lowry. I am the Chief Creative Officer and co-founder of Few, a design and development agency here in Little Rock. So we do web and mobile application design development, iOS, Android, web, ETS. So that's basically what I do for a day job, to make money. I also organize a conference called Made by Few. Who in here has heard of it? Awesome, perfect, good. So this is this is 2016, obviously, it's our 5th year doing it. And it's been a wild ride. So we've grown quite a bit since the first conference. We had a small little room across the river, the river market, and it's grown exponentially. This year, we've got some amazing speakers. We've got people from Facebook, from OpenTable, from Cards Against Humanity. We got speakers from entrepreneurs that are doing some amazing stuff around the world. We've got creative entrepreneurs that started their own design agencies, and they're doing amazing things around the country. So it's going to be a wild ride. We've got PayPal, Mozilla Foundation, artists, Google Ventures. So it runs the gamut: startups, investments, design, creativity, everything. So we've got a few things happening this year. We've expanded our conference to be almost like a festival. We've got 4 days this year. We have fireside talks with local, regional professionals, great stories, hosted by Chris Coyers of CSS Tricks and CodePen. He's going to be down from Wisconsin. We've got workshops partnering with Creatives United. We're doing at Crystal Bridges. We're basically renting out Crystal Bridges all day Thursday. Have you guys been to Crystal Bridges at all? Anybody? Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's going to have a huge impression on the people coming in from outside of the state. It's going to have a great impression on them. We've got people coming in from already registered from Canada. We've got 3 or 4 people coming in from Shopify that have registered. So it's going to be pretty wild. We've got an amazing event happening there that evening. I'm trying to, don't tweet this, but I'm trying to get bouncy houses in there. Going around me. So I'm trying to get them in. So it's going to be wild. We've got all-in costume contest, designed by Few competition. It's going to go benefit a local regional nonprofit dealing with kids and art. Local beer, craft show. We partnered with the Little Craft Show folks, amazing people. We had 50 applicants for Handmade by Few. We could only allow 21 of them in for the space. So we're able to kind of whittle that down to the best, hopefully. And after party, music, it's going to be awesome. So you guys should register. It's going to be October 26th to 29th. The conference part, the actual talks, are going to be on the 28th and 29th. And we have, like I said, the fireside talks Wednesday, 26th, workshops, 28th, opening events, and then 28th and 29th will be the actual talks. So, madebyfew.com is the URL. Use the promo code 1,000,000cups, you'll get $50 off. I still need to set that up, so don't do it yet. It's been busy, so just got back before. So, questions?
And make sure you say who you are and where you're from when you ask the question.
I'm Tim Freeman. I'm from Little Rock. So, what's the history of Made by Few? What was the genesis of that and the early stage of the idea? How did that come about?
That's actually a really long story, but I'll try to simplify it for you. The conference was meant to be initially just a small local event with local speakers and things along those lines 5 years ago. And I just wanted to kind of bring people together, inspire them, make it very accessible. I think our tickets for the first year were $25. So it was just a small little event. Didn't know where it was going to go, didn't know what was going to happen with it. We just wanted to make sure, have something that was going to be awesome for the local community. And I was able to convince my friends to drive in, pay their own flights, their own hotels, everything from Nashville, from South Carolina, from Florida. And I was able to kind of really ramp that up and bring those people here. It was tough, but we made it work. And the next year we had it at the library. Next year we had it here at ACT. And after that, in Berwick. So, slow process, slow build.
Yeah, I have kind of a follow-up to that. I'm Kim from 1,000,000 Cups. Can you talk about, I mean, I know that, so you started small, but can you talk about like the nuts and bolts of how you did that in Arkansas? I mean, how you started bringing people in? Like, I know you've had really big name people come to this conference. Like, how did you make that happen? Can you just talk about that process?
A lot of them initially were friends and friends of friends. And I remember the first time I asked, what was his name? Big DVC, Aaron Draplin to speak. I asked him 3 times. he turned me down 3 times, and I just kept at him, and he understood what I was trying to do with the event. He got onto the, just the whole passion behind it, the excitement behind it. He just, he committed. So, small little events. So, we did that 2012. Yeah, speaking.
I got a question. Spencer Jones, Liker, but this is kind of a Few related question more than like a Made by Few, but I think we'll tie in. I was watching listening to a startup podcast last night, and it was a story about Twitch, which was the live streaming people that are playing video game company, and it talked about how they were like nothing even close to that for years, right? And then they kind of stumbled upon this niche and then just thrived inside of it. Talking about how like when Few was coming along and then when you were getting the ideas for Made by Few at the conference, can you talk about kind of like how it started and kind of what fueled it, or if there was anything in particular that kind of set y'all down that path?
So Few actually came after Made by Few. I started Few on my own in 2012. Few came along in 2013, I think that's right, 2013, 2014? 2014, yeah, we're about 2.5 years old. Made by Few is about 5 years old. So it came first. Well, what happened with Few is pretty interesting. With a conference, with any kind of event, and you guys know this better than anybody, you have to kind of rely on your friends and volunteers to help you build it, especially in a small little community like ours. There's not a huge resources. We don't have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people just willing to just jump in right off the bat. It's like so relying on my friends and asking them for help and things along those lines. We started working together, started working on projects together, building apps, and then found the right opportunity to build our own company. We did. Just jumped on it, hired our friends, and now we're just having a great time, working on cool stuff, and yeah.
Hey man, Christy Eisen, Air Food Jobs here in Little Rock. So I gotta say this first. We met at a potluck 6 or 7 years ago, and I remember you talking about doing a conference where your idea was just the design competition, and you had this vision, and it was just design. And it was so cool. So I'm just really excited at what it's become, and so good job. But my question is, so it started off as a design event for designers and artists and that kind of thing. At least that was my impression, I may be wrong. And now I see, and I thought, well, that's not really for me, that's cool, but that's not my niche. And now I'm seeing, well, now it's food, and now it's makers of all kinds and entrepreneurs. So tell us a little bit more about that. Who is invited and who should come?
Well, so the design competition you're talking about started in 2013, I do believe. This is our third year doing it. It's called Design by Few. And that event is kind of an add-on to Made by Few. It's a design competition where 3 designers compete in an open room with an audience, with music going, and there's projectors behind them projecting their work, and it's a lot of fun. They're tasked with creating branding or creating a poster, something along those lines, for a local nonprofit, and that nonprofit gets to benefit from those designs. The designer gets like a $5 cash prize, and it's just a big party. We have beer and wine and stuff, and people are oh my God, yeah. People are like, man, my designer didn't win. It's awesome. It's cool because the Pia Foundation was the organization last year, and they were able to use one of the posters to promote their event. 2 Girls, I think it is, or Girl Talk.
Yeah,
Girl Talk. That's what it was. Yeah. So they benefit, the community benefits, designers benefits. It's a all-around win-win situation. And so the idea behind Made by Few, it wasn't necessarily meant to be. It kind of evolved over the years, but it wasn't necessarily meant to be just a design event. I don't know. I've taught web design in the UAL art department, and through that experience and through kind of honing other people's skill sets, I've become more aware of some of the bad design that gets on the web, and the whole ambition behind Made by Few in general is to really make the web a more beautiful place, to inspire people to hone their skills and build skill set, not just around design, but a lot of what we do is design. All of you have iPhones. Somebody designed that interface. Who designed that hardware? So it's all about design. The initial concept behind Made by Few is really it's 5 speakers initially. We did that for 2012, the 2012 and 2013 events. It is an entrepreneur, designer, a creative, somebody from Arkansas, and somebody else, I can't remember, developer, I think, or something like that. That was the initial kind of concept. I wanted to not just have a bunch of talks on the same subject. That gets very boring very quickly. And so we try to have a nice plethora of talks. And you'll find that through this event as well. We have a lot of product designers this year, but a lot of them have really interesting backgrounds, that do interesting side projects. So they may be a product designer, but they're going to have a story that you're going to be able to connect with. There's a talk for everything. That's what I think. You may only like one talk, but at least you like one talk. You know what I'm saying? How many times you guys been to a conference where everything sucked? So I try to keep that in mind. You're next.
Yeah, David Schindler, Little Rock. Without giving away your business secrets, specifically your business model, how do you make money?
That's a good question. Honestly, we don't make money. We don't make money on the event. We invest every dime we make from the event back into the event. We could lower the quality. We could lower our standards and make it a lesser event. But the event would suffer, our community would suffer, our brand would suffer. So we have a very high standard that we live up to. And we're willing to take a hit on that if we have to. We don't have a marketer at our company. We don't have a marketing budget. So this is kind of our marketing in a subtle way. We don't think about this as necessarily marketing or anything like that. But if you need an app, come talk to us. We're still going to do a killer event for you. It doesn't matter. So just that's how we see it.
John Goodham, Little Rock, Argenta. Arlton, are you coming back to Argenta next year? Because we'd love to see, all of these folks up and down the streets, in our pubs, and here in the hub and so forth, and happy to help with that.
Yeah, 2014, 2014 is when we had it in Argenta. I don't know if any of you guys got to come to this one or not, but it was great because we've gotten so many amazing comments about that event. People just loved it because it's a nice kind of like intimate room. It's black, so it's like very focused, kind of very comfortable space. And then we were able to work with the Thea Foundation and the mugs, not mugs, but the joint to serve lunch, which was perfect. So, we got the event and they got to be able to kind of explore some of the area over there. And you're right, John, there's some amazing stuff happening in Argenta, and we definitely want to do something here. I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I definitely want to do some events here in Argenta. This is too beautiful a space. There's too many cool things happening here for us to not utilize it. It needs to be utilized. So, definitely.
Hey, Arlton. Mike Steely Sparkle. Congrats, man. Nice shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, taking it. Hey, so could you? I don't know that this audience, and hopefully the audience, online also understands what the significance of this conference has been. I mean, I had the fortune to go to the early ones and planning on being up in Northwest Arkansas as well. Appreciate the discount. Could you talk a little bit about this part of the country and you guys and design and the comparison of what's happening here versus on either coast and kind of the perspective, the perception you guys get from other places? I mean, you all are growing something really significant, almost like a South by, that started out of Austin when Austin was tiny. And, what you plan to do with that?
Yeah. You're right, Mike. We have some negative perceptions about this part of the country and our state in general. And one of our goals for the event is to really market to and bring in people from outside of the country. We do obviously some homegrown marketing and localize to get the local community involved and pushing for that. But what's great about this community, it's so small, it's easy to spread the word, So we're able to focus our efforts on bringing in people from around the country, not necessarily because we want them here for any kind of other reason, but to really allow the local creative and entrepreneurial community to engage with them, learn from them, build relationships, network, find their next partner, Also, to really change their perceptions. You guys wouldn't believe how difficult it is sometimes convincing people to come to Arkansas to speak, And then when people see that there's this event happening in Arkansas, they're like, really, Arkansas? And so we are very focused on making sure the websites and the branding and the marketing materials, the videos, the artwork, everything has got to be on point because people are looking at us through a very strict lens. We're not LA, we can't borrow that brand. We're not New York, we're not Chicago. People are like, well, I'd love to go to Chicago. Nobody's like, hey, I want to go to Arkansas. Well, not. Some people are, you know what I'm saying? So we have to kind of utilize what we have here to kind of draw those individuals here. That's what we had in Northwest Arkansas. We've been doing it here for 4 years. NWA has a bunch of resources up there that we don't have that allows us to draw people back to Arkansas and showcase a whole other part of the state. That museum up there is absolutely amazing. It makes our state look so good. And so that's why it's not just that, but there's also, what they're doing with downtown Bentonville, the 21C. We're doing the Fireside Talks. We're doing that at a winery in the Sasquatch Winery in Springdale. I always get Springfield mixed up. Springdale. So it's going to be a nice outdoor activity hosted by Chris Boyers right there at the winery. People are going to come here and think, Arkansas's got a winery? That's intentional. We're intentionally making sure that people see that. So that's the whole thought process.
I'm Spencer Jones from Little Rock.
I'm Kim Lane from Little Rock. So on that subject of bringing people to Arkansas and showcasing what the state has to offer, can you share some examples of some of the feedback that you've received from folks that have come from out of town?
Yeah, there's always interesting feedback before and afterwards from our events. It's usually in the form of like tweets or posts on Facebook or emails afterwards going like, oh my God, that was an amazing time. For instance, you guys heard of Basecamp? There's a great, they have a Signal versus Noise a blog. Are you guys familiar with that? Anyway, it's a great blog. They kind of go through all kinds of different stuff. You know, they blogged about us from the 2013 event because one of their designers for Basecamp came down and was like, oh my God, I want to tell you about this event. Here's this event you should go to. That's basically what the blog post was. That was kind of cool. Also, there was, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, a nice guy, he came and spoke in 2014. He came into town. My co-founder, David, we have a speakers dinner every Thursday night before the event. Came to town, he was like, man, so really, Arkansas? He had that, that's what he said to my co-founder, David, he was like, really? So, how, this died on me. So he had a very, a little bit of a negative impression of Arkansas, right? So he was like, luckily we were able to get him because I had a lot of good friends that were similar friends and things along those lines. And when he left, he was tweeting about how amazing the fried chicken was and how great of a time he had and like how he's gonna be thinking about it for like weeks to come. Because we came to Gus's Fried Chicken. We don't have sandwiches. I mean, we engage the local, the local caterers and make sure that there's an amazing food and an amazing experience in every aspect of the event. So it's all intentional.
In the healthcare world, if people don't put enough emphasis on design with a lot of stuff, like if I tried to hire in one of my 10 first hires, if I tried to hire a designer, like my investors would probably laugh at me and fire me. But it's something that I'm seeing more and more frequently come to the fold. And so, what would you say to people, whether it's like the logistics industry or like meat packing or manufacturing, whatever, to say, look, you need to put more emphasis on your brand, your design. What would you say to them to try to get them to focus more on the impact that design can have with their products and services?
Well, no matter the field, there's a lot of noise out there, and so you have to set yourself apart somehow, right? And you've got, other groups working towards the same goals as you, competitors, which is fine. Obviously that's a good thing. So you've got to set yourself apart somehow. If you're providing the same service, you may present it in a better way than your competitor in some more fashion, more compelling way. But humans are such visual creatures. We're so connected with the way things look and feel and the way we engage with them. We're very focused on that. And if you can provide an amazing experience for a user, they're gonna take your product and choose your company over your competitors any day, unless there's some crazy deal they're getting, or something along those lines. That's still an issue, but design is only going to be more and more important these days. In the 90s, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the 90s, whenever you went to design a product, companies went to build a product, they would build the product and bring in the designer at the very end. Nowadays, they bring in the designer first before they even start on the product. So that's kind of the way things are headed, and it's only going to go more and more so because of all these devices that they're setting on your tables here. It's only going to get more and more important.
And if anybody knows High Alpha, Christian Anderson, I think he's exemplified design first, and then everything else can happen next. But so last thing, ask anything you want of the crowd, anything they can do to help you, Made by Few, your journey, anything.
Yeah, definitely. Please tweet about it. Please post about it. I mean, we need the exposure. We don't have a huge marketing budget. A lot of what we've done is really partnering and doing any kind of sponsorships, things along those lines to kind of like push the message out there. And so we need everybody's help. I think that's going to be a big key with the community in Arkansas, is really rallying around, these events, not made by you, but any kind of event like that. We've got to come out and support each other. It's very important. And that's the only way we're going to be able to grow this community and show the rest of the world that, we have highly talented, creative people here in our state. That's the only way we're going to get it out there. So, thank you.
I speak for everyone here and say thank you for what you're doing for the community, and keep on keeping on. But please remember, retweet, follow, retweet Lavis Coffee. Thank you to our sponsor, Innovation Hub, made by Few 1 Million Cups. Please be active on social media. It really helps us out with traction. It really helps us look good as a community. So once again, thank you. You don't have to leave. Have some coffee and mingle, but we'll see you next week.
Yes.